Hello, everybody. Today we're going to talk about enunciation. Now, what is enunciation? Well, first of all, I made this sheet for you. Enunciation is the strength of a word. Or you can think about how clearly you speak the words. Okay? Let me give you some examples in Japanese. Okay? So, if I want to say I like water, I say mizu ga suki desu, right? Mizu ga suki desu. But how I was taught at my first Japanese class was mizu ga suki desu, which technically is correct because that's correct pronunciation, suki desu. But really, nobody says that. People say suki desu. So instead of saying suki desu, they say suki desu. Okay? This is, I feel, an example of enunciation. Pronunciation is different because, for example, if you know somebody named Yumi, right? A girl named Yumi, Y-U-M-I, Yumi. As an American, I can read it as yummy, right? Yummy. Almost similar spelling. But that's wrong pronunciation. That's not her name. Her name isn't Yummy. Her name is Yumi. Okay, that's pronunciation. Enunciation is just how strongly you say the words. Okay, like suki desu, right? Now, this is an interesting question because what is good enunciation, right? Now, to an American, good or clear enunciation is a very strong way of speaking, Like if I want to say water, if I enunciate it, it's water. So as an American, we feel sometimes the best enunciation is very strong speaking. But nobody says water. Nobody says water in America. So water is the more normal enunciation. So I'm going to teach you normal enunciation because as a Japanese person going to America, you want to understand people. And that's the whole point of learning enunciation and pronunciation too. Of course, pronunciation is good so you can speak better and be understood. But what's also important is for you to understand other people. You don't need to speak this way that I'm going to introduce, and even some of the other ways I did in other videos. Sometimes it's good just to understand. Pronunciation is very good to help your listening as well. Okay, now let's get started. Let's start with strong T, okay? Oh, by the way, I should mention there are five enunciations of T that I pretty much figured out by myself, but I'm going to teach you strong T first, okay? So it says, this is the normal enunciation of T. It is similar to the Japanese enunciation. It is usually at the beginning of words or when emphasizing. It is sometimes used after S or F. Okay. How to do it? Your tongue touches your gums above your teeth. Release strongly. So let me show you with my arms. These are your teeth, okay? This is your tongue. Now, if you put your tongue here and release, it has a sound. Maybe you can hear it. This is the sound that happens when you go t, t. If you put your tongue here and release, it makes a t sound, and that is T, right? So again, this is the beginning of words, at the beginning of words. So practice with me. Teacher, tomato, Tommy, 13. Okay. So now this is in the middle of the word. Okay? This says when emphasizing. Some words are compound words like hometown. The T is in the middle, but it's still strong. Hometown. Okay? For 13, the strength of the power is equal. 13. Okay? So teacher is teacher. Tommy is Tommy. Tomato, you notice there's a T in the middle. This is going to be soft, but the first T is strong. But for 13, they're the same strength. 13, 13. I will explain more later. Sister. Again, after S, many times the T is strong. Fast. Okay. After S, again. 50, 50. And sometimes after F. Okay. Now, in some words, the T is silent after an S. Like, listen. Okay. We don't say listen, we say listen. Or castle. We don't say castle, we say castle. And I want to say fasten. Fasten. So here are some examples where the T is silent after the S, but other times it's not silent. Like sister and fast. Okay, let's move on to weak T. Okay. Now, weak T, this is the American way of enunciating T in the middle of words. It is very common. It sounds like a soft D or the Japanese R. How to do it? Your tongue touches your gums quickly and releases quickly. So let's go back to the teeth. So this is normal T. Hit, hit. Weak T is just boom, boom, boom. Again, you can hear it. It's softer, okay? Now, this is similar to a D. Now, if you remember in the previous lesson, T and D are very similar, right? So this sound is similar to a D, okay? Da, di, do, de, do. Or like a Japanese R, right? So, water, okay? The first example is water. You can say water. Nobody's going to be angry at you. But normally we say water. In some other languages, or I should say other types of English, like British English, they pronounce it more like Japanese wota, as far as I know. Sometimes they'll cut the T and say wo-a, but that's just a stereotype maybe. Anyway, Americans say water. So it's wa, not wo, and it's der. You can say, like I said, a soft D. So not water. You don't want water. You want water. Or ra-de-do-de-do, water, water. Party, party. Eating, eating. Now, ing, the G is also, we don't say eating or eating. It's just eating. Kind of cut the G, right? Next is 30, 30, like I talked about before. Now, here is 13, 30. In 30, the T is weak, okay? Now, I've heard many teachers say 30, 13. So, for me, 13 is equal 13, 13. And 30 is 30, 30. So, I heard some other teachers do kind of a different way where they think 30 is equal 30, 30, 13. They make the T really, really strong. And I don't know why they do that. I think because they want to notice a difference, but I think they don't notice in themselves that they say 30, soft. Because in many Americans' minds, they are saying 30, 30. But we don't say 30. If you listen to us, we say 30, 30, like a D almost, right? So 13 is same, not 13. You don't need that. Just 13, 30, 13, 30, okay? If you ask somebody, what did you say? And the person said 30, they would say, I said 30. They would over-enunciate it. Because, like I said in the previous lesson, the slower we speak, the more we enunciate. Okay, so if we speak slowly, they will say the T stronger. And for them, they feel they said it the same exact way both times. I know this because I have tested it myself. Okay? Anyway, let's continue with numbers. 14, 40. 14, 40. 17, 70. 70 almost sounds like the letter 7 in D. 70. 17, 70. 18, 80. 80 sounds like an A and a D. 80. 1880, 1990. If you want to say 1990, it's okay, but it's difficult to hear and difficult to communicate. And also, again, the main point is so you can understand. All right. Next is waiting. Waiting. Again, the G sound is cut with ing and it's soft. Now, the next word I put here is gotta. So it says this is the T in the middle of the words. Remember, strong T is at the beginning of words. Weak T is at the middle. So, water, party, eating, 30. Now, for gotta, it's a little different. And I'm going to explain more when we talk about rhythm. But I'll start a little bit right here. No. So, I'll explain further in rhythm. But got is a smaller verb. I'll just say for now. It's an auxiliary verb, but it's a smaller verb. And to is a preposition. Many times in English, we don't speak in words, we speak in phrases. So these two small words will smash together. So since they smash together, the T is now in the middle. So we pronounce it gotta. Now you're saying, well, there's O's. Well, if you watch my first pronunciation video, you know that O is ah. Actually, got is always got. Okay? And then to is u. So you can say garu, but never goto, never goto, goto-san. Never goto, never go to. Go to is very different from got to, right? And so it's either gotta or got to or garu. Again, you can say the strong T if you want, waiting, eating. Nothing wrong with that. But for listening purposes, many people will say eating, gotta. And finally, tomato. The first T is strong, the middle T is soft. Tomato. And it's tomato. A sound, O sound. Okay, tomato. And this is soft. So not tomato. All right, let's go on to number 3. Half T. Now this one's really strange. This is the usual way we end words with a T. Okay? So the strong T is in the beginning, weak T in the middle. At the end we have a half T. Okay? How to do it? Your tongue touches your gums and stays there. So again, here's your teeth, here's your mouth, your tongue. Stays. Doesn't move. So, for example, the first word here is get. Not get. So not get. It's get. My tongue is still there. Get. And it will always be there. Eat. Out. Went. Ate. Not. Okay? Now, why do we do this? Sometimes you don't have to. We can say get, eat, out. Again, doesn't sound exactly natural, like suki desu, but you can do it. But here's a big reason too, because like I said, in English, we don't speak word by word, we speak by phrases. So these words will connect to the next word many times, okay? So get together. We don't say get together. We say get together, okay? Or eat tacos, okay? Not eat tacos, but eat tacos. Have T, eat tacos. Sorry, eat tacos. The T finishes with the next word, okay? Outside. That time it becomes out, like tsu, outside. All right, let's continue. Oh, first of all, if you got the first 3 understood, then you're already fantastic. So that's good. Those are the main ones. Now we're going to get to some other important ones, but anyway. Number 4, silent T. Now, as I mentioned, here are some examples of silent T, right? I don't know why T is silent after S's sometimes. Again, not every time, but sometimes. And then there's other words like often. You can say often. You can say often. Honestly, I never say often. But I did notice that when I was reading a story that said often 3 times, and I said it differently based on the sentence and how quickly I was speaking at the time. So one sentence I said often, and then another one I said often, based on how quickly I spoke. And like I said, the faster we speak, the less enunciation we have. So that's important too. Many people just don't pronounce the T at all. But when is important. This is also very common. It's usually done after an N. Okay? How to do it? Do nothing. Okay? Now, I want to explain why I think this is. Because when we do an N, your tongue is here. Your tongue is already here. So if you want to do a T, you just kind of move down and it feels you just release the N. That's how I feel it is. I don't know the scientific reason. So I want to talk about these words. Now, here's winter. You can say winter. Nobody will be angry with you. It's not bad enunciation. But you will hear some people say winter. Yes, of course, like winter, yay. But winter. So here's an example. Somebody says, what season is it right now? It's winter. Short sentence. Not very, but kind of slow. Next example. Where are you going? I'm going to the mall. I'm going to buy a winter jacket. Winter jacket. Winter. I cut the T. Many people cut the T when it's a full sentence. Okay? Enter or enter. You can say enter, no problem. Knock, 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 knock. Enter. Okay. Or knock, 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 knock. When can I enter the building? Okay, enter. 20. You know, in my life, I've never said 20. I've always said 20, 21, 22, because I learned English by listening to the people around me. Okay? Gonna. Let's talk about gonna. I'm going to make a sentence right here. Hold on. Wow, the I is not I. I am going to go to China. That is a good sentence. Sounds like a fun time. And also, it is over enunciated. I am going to go to China. Okay. Now, normally we don't speak this way. Let me take off the... Okay. Sorry. I'm going to go to China. Okay. Now, that's a more normal way of saying it. We don't say I am going. We say I'm going. Okay, good. But you can... Remember I told you with ing... Sometimes we cut the G, right? Many times. So let's change it to I'm going to go to China. Sounds even better. I am going to go to. I'm going to. Okay. Actually, this one is I'm going to. Sounds good. Now, check it out. The N and the T are together. Just like I said, with N and T, cut the T. I'm going to go to China. Now, that's starting to get fun. So from here, we're going to change. I'm gonna go to China. Remember, O has an A sound. Now, you're going to say, why not this one? We already say gonna. Okay? So, as an American, I have heard all of these. I've heard all of these used, okay? I am going to go. I'm going to go. I'm going to go. I'm gonna go. I'm going to go. And I'm gonna go. I have heard all of these, okay? And it's very normal. It's just like I said, the faster we speak, the less we enunciate. This is full enunciation. This is very little enunciation, okay? That's how we go from I am going to I'm gonna. Now remember, it's supposed to be quick English. So I know many students know the word gonna, and they use it, but they speak very slowly, and it doesn't sound natural. They'll say, I'm gonna go to. It doesn't sound natural because gonna is supposed to be used with fast English. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. And plus, it's not gonna either. It's gonna. If you really want to get crazy, on the internet, some people say, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to China. Or even better, some people say, I'm a go to China. Okay? These are more modern, kind of stylish ways. Not really modern anymore, but anyway, they're stylish ways. It's not normal. Don't do it. But some people do, and you might hear it. So I'm telling you about it. Stick to I'm going to, I'm gonna, or even I'm going to. Whatever. Whatever makes you happy. Okay, let's continue. Printer. Printer. You can say printer. I say printer. Internet. Internet. Okay? You can say internet. It's okay. Internet. And the last T is half T that we learned before. All right. Let's continue to number 5. This one is kind of difficult, but it's very common. This is the half T and sound. Okay? This is what we do when we have an N after the T. Okay, before the T is you cut the T most times. Although it sounds like slang, it is often used in formal situations like the news. How to do it? Your tongue touches your gums, hold it there, and make an N sound. Okay, so again with the teeth, you do half T, which means the T stays here, and you just go N. T, N. Okay, let me show you some examples. Clinton. Okay, now this is a name. Of course, in katakana, it's Clinton, right? On. But as you know from the previous lesson, O plus N equals in. Clinton. Clinton. Now you can say Clinton with a strong T, no problem. And many people do. But on the news, or any other place I should say, people say Clinton. Clinton. Half T. Clinton. Clinton. My tongue is still there. Clinton. Clinton. Okay? Next is eaten. Some people say eaten. It's fine. Eaten. 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 Written. Written. Okay? You can say written. Written by, again, that's really strong enunciation. Quick enunciation is written. You keep your tongue there. Written. Getting. Getting. Again, cut the G. Getting. I say getting, but some people say gettin'. Maybe that's more slang. Now, this is a funny one. You can, so first of all, A-I-N is in. You don't want to say mountain, but mountain, mountain. Now, you can say tin, mountain, no problem. Now, I've heard some people on the East Coast, actually one person that I follow on YouTube, and he uses the soft T. So he says mountain, mountain, right? The soft T. I say mountain, 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 the half T and N. Or badminton, badminton. Okay? You can say badminton. Badminton, you can say, but again, O plus N equals in. Badminton, badminton. I want to give you a few more examples. Let me erase this. I love the X-Men. I love Marvel. So here's mutant, mutant. So here's the T and here's the N. Okay? So we do a half T here. Mutant. Now, you can say mutant is also okay. You can end with a half T or not. But that's how we say it. We don't say mutant. We say mutant. Hopefully, spell check can help me on this one. Manhattan. Good. How am I making a mistake? Manhattan. Good. So again, and do we say Manhattan? Manhattan? We don't say Manhattan. We say Manhattan. Manhattan. You can say Manhattan with a strong T and in, but many people say Manhattan. Hatton. Hatton. Okay? There's one more word I did earlier today. I forgot it. It was a good example too. Anyway, too late. Maybe I'll put it in the chat later. So that's the half T and sound. Okay? So we are done. Those are the 5 enunciations. Now let's have some fun. And here are some practice words, practice phrases. Oh, I should mention that on the second page, I have a Japanese translation of each of the enunciations of T. So you can take a screenshot later. But for now, let's practice. I often get tomatoes for Tim. This T is silent for no reason. Get is half T. Strong T. Soft. Strong. I often get tomatoes for Tim. When I was 20, I went back to my hometown. I don't say 20, I say 20. Went back. So this is a half T. And then hometown, like I said, hometown is, even though it's in the middle of the word, has the same strength. Hometown. When I was 20, I went back to my hometown. I went back. I had another example. Left my brain. I apologize. Let's continue to practice. This is my favorite one. I've got to get a better water bottle. This is the soft T practice. I've got to get a better water bottle. If you can say it really quickly, you are a master. I've got to get a better water bottle. Let's say it slowly. I have got to get a better water bottle. I've gotta get a better water bottle. I've got to get a better water bottle. I've got to get a better water bottle. I've got to get a better water bottle. Try it. You know, I once saw a parent of my student. So I told her, did your daughter tell you that I taught her? Did your, so this is not dao, it's just da. Soft T, daughter. Tell you is as it is. That I. This becomes, because I mix together, the T becomes a D sound, that I. And then taughter. Again, these come together. So this is a kind of a soft T. And this is just ah. Did your daughter tell you that I taught her? If I over-enunciate, did your daughter tell you that I taught her? Did your daughter tell you that I taught her? So I walked up to the mother. I said, did your daughter tell you that I taught her? And she was like, what? So that's when I realized enunciation is a pretty important thing to learn. Okay, let's finish up. I was waiting for about 30 minutes when you rode Splash Mountain. Waiting, soft T. About half T. 30, weak T. Minutes. Oh, okay. It's strong T. And Splash Mountain, half T and N. I ate 50 tacos. That's the most I've ever eaten. Okay. 8 is half T. 50. I said 50 because it's after an F. Tacos, beginning of the word. That's beginning of the word. That's use the ts sound. The is T, but it's the TH sound. Most is half T. Most I've, no, after S, so it's strong. And eaten, half T and N. And finally, that was fast. We finished by 8. Okay, fast, strong. That was. That's a half T. We finished by 8, half T. That was fast. We finished by 8. Okay, I guess that's it for today. Hope you got it. American enunciation of T. Next time, we're going to work on rhythm. All right. Again, feel free to screenshot the sheets so you can practice at home. Thank you very much. Take care.